Michael Bisping says Justin Gaethje's got to wait. Islam versus Ilia. Main event White House card. All right. Now, I love where Bisping's head at because he called that biggest fight in MMA, and that's a big fight. And if we've got the return of Ilia and we think that Islam's going to be on the card, put them together. I will tell you, there are a few things more aggravating as an MMA fan than when you watch a promotion and the guys that you want to see fight are on the same card but not in the same cage together. Not something that happens in a UFC, but boy, I have been to up-and-coming cards. There's a WFA card, Matt Lindland versus Rampage Jackson, and every fighter that you would want to see fight each other was on the card, just not against each other. I remember Mayhem Miller and Ivan Salveri were on the card, which would have been, for the hardcores, a great fight, but they didn't fight each other, and that just kept happening all night long. So I get it. I do get Bisping's point, but let me now tell you what I know. Okay, what I know. Ilia Topuria left 145 pounds for 155. That is a resisted thing in our industry. Just accept that. Islam, after Ilia came into the division, said, I'm leaving 155 and I'm going to 170, which is a resisted thing in our industry. But it was very hard to let a guy come to your division and say it's all cool in the gang and got the blessing, but we're not going to let you do the exact same thing that we just let him do. It's a hard thing to do. So the timing was kind of there. So we get these two shifts, but this involved face-to-face meetings. This involved a flight from the second floor of the UFC to Dagestan for a face-to-face. And the meeting went like this. If I let you go, you don't leave 170. The same conversation got had with Ilia. If we let you come to 55, you do not leave 55. Do we have a deal? I'm not going to stop you from vacating, and I'm not going to stop you from going to 70. I can stop you for fighting for a title at 70. And then the same conversation with Ilia. Hey, I'm not going to make you make the weight class, and I'm not going to tell you your MMA's career done, so you're 55-pounder, you're 55-pounder. But I don't have to make you, I don't have to put the belt around you. Do we understand? If you capture the belt, you stay here. That I know. 100%. Happened. According to Islam, according to Ilia, and according to the second floor of the UFC. Confirmed it with all of them. So, it's their deal. They've got the right to go back on. I just share with you, that's really not how things are done. The idea of taking Ilia, who you'd largely be willing to sacrifice in this case. Now, who's a bigger star? Ilia or Islam? I mean, Ilia came after him once. That's true. That really bothers Islam when I tell that story. And I don't know why it would. It's just simply what happened. It was 1 year ago. It was 1 year ago now. I was out in Vegas filming The Ultimate Fighter opposite Daniel Cormier when I got this news. I then go to the UFC where the set is that we're filming Ultimate Fighter, and I'm around all the guys making the decisions on this news. I was there firsthand. The source, me. I'm the source on this story. So I'm telling you, the conversations happened. Islam, if we put you at 70, you got to stay at 70. And he was talking about, I want to go back to 55. Hey, if we put you at 70, you got the belt. You're the head of the division. You need to act that way. Same conversation with Ilia. But the truth is, Ilia chased Islam once. And now you're going to put Ilia at a deficit of making him go up again. And then you've got the idea of putting Ilia with no title defenses up. And that's just unusual. That's just not how things are done. Now, if you put Ilia versus Islam, one of them has to lose. So what if it's Ilia? You send him back to 55? He's going to go fight in a main event for a world championship because he's carrying it and he's 0-1 in his last one? He's 0-1 in the year 2026. That is not sustainable business. That is not how the UFC does business. And there's no time over the history of the UFC, 30 plus years, where they've ever, even one night, done business that way. You would then also have an issue of what do you do with Gaethje? 55 is already a little bit of a mess. You've got an interim champion, which best we can tell as a community makes you a #1 contender. But it's not a guarantee. But while you have an interim champion, you have the number one ranked guy who is not the number one contender. And people in the media get this verbiage wrong all the time. They will often refer to the number one ranked guy as the number one contender. A number one contender is an exclusive term for whoever has the bout agreement signed. You could be ranked number 8. You are the number one contender if you are next per bout agreement for the champion. And I offer you that distinction because 55 is a little bit weird. It is a little bit weird. You've got the champion in Ilia, he was out. You got the number one contender in Saruki, and he is out. You get the number 6 guy, and he's going to take on a guy that threatened to leave the company if he doesn't get some kind of a title fight. That's where Gaethje comes in. Now Gaethje's got an interim belt. You could solve this and figure this out real fast. It would appear, according to the odds makers, you got 2 different ways to do that. But one of them had better involve your champion. And to take a guy from 45 to 55 to 70 is simply not going to happen. Is the idea of Islam there? Yeah, I think so. Who's a bigger star between Islam and Ilia? Listen, if they both get on the same card, we're going to have that answer. Whoever goes main event, your bigger star. The biggest star closes out the night. And if Islam versus a currently unidentified opponent is head-to-head with Ilia versus Gaethje, Islam's going to find out he is not the bigger star.